Patar is the father, and by the origin of this word means protector. Matar is the mother. This one word means a person who thinks and manages the affairs of the family. The son, Sini, is son, and this means the extension of the family, the inheritance. Diktar is daughter, and these words come from breastfeeding, that is, future breastfeeding. Son and Diktar are founder of future families. Bratar is a brother and means the one who supports and help. Svakura is father-in-law and Svakru mother-in-law. It is a species of, and it includes master and mistress who are related. Vidova is udova and means divorced. In dama, which is dom or home, is entered to dvar or dvara, which is dveri, which means the doors. The house is covered with daru, which is the tree, which is held by stamba or stubovi, or on English pillars. Cunningham says that on Aryan coin there was an inscription of the value in numbers 2, 3. Translation, which is dva, 3. Translation on Serbian is not needed here. In geography of Claudio Ptolemy, there are the names of the following cities in Serbia. In Serbica: Garini, Rubani, Asmira, Damna, Troana, Pijada, Isedon, Bate, Adragana, Drosača, Harana, Togora, Dokat, Serika, Solana, Orosana, Otrokore, Aspakija, Sizide, Palijana, Oruana, Sarbana i Sardoksana. He mentions the river Saraba and a plain, Sarabon. Sardonian mountains are today called Aravali Mountains under Rajasthan. City Serdaksana is today Hyderabad. North of this city and east of the river Ind was found a city of Sarbana. In Hirkania is mentioned the city of Sarba. Names of the cities Garina, Surbani, Damna, Pijada, Bate, Drosača, Harana, Togora, Dokat, and Solana are most probably unchanged. Asmira is Smira or Smirna. Troana is Troy, and finding this name in India tells us a lot. Name Adragana is Dragana, and Orosana is Rosana. Isedon, Aspakija, Oruana, Palijana, and Sizide are the names which seem changed. Serika was the major city and is mentioned as Sera metropolis. Serika is Serbica or Srbica. Serbica. Sarbana is a clear name, while Sardaksana is changed. Names of the river Sarab and places Sarabon are clear. Sardonian mountains are called Araval Mountains without letter Sima, but still we can see that it was the name Sarabali or Sarbali Mountains. Name of people. The only name of people among Aryans in India is Serbian. Besides the general name, there are also some local names without a trace of the presence of any people other than Serbs and of course Indian natives. Serbs and Slavs. From the previous presentation we have seen that one can talk about Serbian race and Serbian people starting from 7,000 years ago. The very mention of the Serbian name as the name of the people is very old. Since it is mentioned in Mahabharata, it could be said that Serbian name has been known since the first Aryan campaign in India, that is, since the time of Nino's conquest of the East. Since the Aryans in India declared themselves as Serbs, as well as the descendants of Bak or the remnants of his army. This proves that the Serbian name, as the name of the people, not a tribe, was known at the time of Nino's campaign, which means more than 2000 years before Christ. In records from Egypt and Middle East, the Serbian name is mentioned as early as the 15th century BC. Since the establishment of the Second Empire, that is, the Serb conquests in 14th century BC, the Serbian name has been widely represented in Europe, Asia and Africa. Throughout Europe, North Africa and Aryan Asia, Serbs are mentioned everywhere as a people in every country, in every province. All other names of tribes of Serbian race were only tribal and local names that appear as Serbian names or Serbian names. When we look at the situation before the end of the second millennium BC, one gets the impression that there was a huge Serbia at that time, from Scotland to India and from Scandinavia to Sahara. It is indisputable the Serbian race was present in a whole area at that time, where many other people lived at the same time. In most of the mentioned area, the Serbs were a small warrior and ruling class, which eventually united with the natives. Only in areas where Serbs were only people, or formed the majority of people, they as such were permanently maintained. These areas are modern Slavic countries. Whoever today belongs to the Slavic tree of the people, he primarily belongs to the Serbian race and Serbian race of people. The Slavic name appeared very late, only in the 6th century, 552 AD, as one of the names of the Serbian people. The Slavic name is based on a language and means the people who speak the same language, unlike the ones who does not speak. So in that case, he's as mute as the Nemci, which is how Serbs called Germans. Name means mute in Serbian. This name must have originated somewhere at the ends of the Serbian people, where they was in contact with other people in different languages. Before the Slavic name, there was another name that was also based on language, and it is Yazigi or Jezici, which means languages. That name meant a people who speak the same language, just as the Slavic name means the people who speak the same words. Today, there is no linguistic unity of the Serbian people. They can hardly speak to each other, so the name Slavs diminished its meaning. If linguistic unity was lost, no one could lose their origin, their belonging to Serbian branch of the people. There is not a single Slavic people in whose territory the Serbian name was not previously represented as a national name. Precisely because the Serbian name appeared everywhere, in remote areas and in all countries, we have a large number of more or less different within Serbian names. Romanians call Serbs Sarbi, which is one of the older forms of Serbian name, as is Serbi. Nikola Jorga says, among the Romanians, Serb is another name for all Slavs, name which is used on whole group of people, because in Romania, Bulgars are also Serbs. After all, the way of speaking Shkej, that is Slavic, is not known, but only Serbian. Sarbešte. Maretic, Rački, Šafarik, Dobrovski, Veltman, and many other Slavic scientists agree that the name Serb is very old and deeply rooted among all Slavs. Thus, Josip Dobrovsky writes in his yearbook for 1827, the identity of the Lusitian Serbs and Balkan Serbs are not accidental. It originates from the ancient times, when all Slavs of that time called themselves by the Serbian name before the Slavic name was created. Alexander Gulferding believes that in the endless space there existed various different states of Serbs, which was tied only by a mutual language. Šafarik has considered Vendi as foreign people, and that the domestic name for Slavs was Serbs. In his work Slovenske starožitnosti, pages 95 to 98, Shafarik says, "We can notice with certainty that Venedi and Spori Serbs are two main names of the same people. Jornandes Vins are with Procopius Spora and vice versa." Olga Lukovic says, "Nobody mentioned the dispute except Procopius." Louis Lager says, "Sorbi and Sorpi were unpleasant to Greek ear, and that is why Procopius says that the name Spori was previously given to the Slavs and Anti."